Good evening. This 10th regular meeting of the 74th term of the Baltimore City Council is now called to order. First, I'd like to recognize the members of the Baltimore Metropolitan Chapter and Baltimore Alumni Chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Deltas are right across the hall, but happy Delta Day. We have a packed agenda tonight, and I'd like to take a moment to thank the members of this council for the work they are doing to bring forward legislation that will have an impact on their districts and our entire city. Tonight's invocation will be offered by the Reverend Kevin Ewing of the Catholic Community of South Baltimore. Reverend Ewing, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, and I want to thank Councilman Blanchard for the invitation to come here this evening. I invite you to bow your heads in prayer. Source of all goodness, we thank you for every grace and blessing. We come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting of the City Council. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, to promote collaboration, foster genuine respect, and nurture the bonds of community. Lord God, fill us with your grace as we make decisions that impact the lives of all whom we seek to serve. Continue to remind us that all we do here today and all we strive to accomplish is for the pursuit of truth and justice, so that we may glorify you by our deeds in the service of our sisters and brothers. And accompany with your providential care and protection our elected officials, our first responders, our residents, and lift up all who struggle from violence, poverty, addiction, or injustice in any form, so that no one may be lost. Grant to us true and lasting peace. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Ewing. Councilmember Blanchard will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Blanchard. The clerk will now call the roll of the members.
Parker. Present. McCray. Dorsey. Here. Conway. Present. Schleifer. Middleton. Torrance. Gray. Present. Bullock. Present. Porter. Present. Blanchard. Present. Jones. Glover. Here. Ramos. Here. Cohen.
Present.
Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Before we enter into the regular agenda, we have a few special announcements. First, I'd like to recognize our City Council pages, Anelka Ellis and Jalen Robinson. This is their last meeting with us, sadly. They have been diligently researching topics of their choosing for advocacy projects, and I'd now like to offer them a few minutes, briefly, to each present to the council. I'd like to make a motion for floor privileges for our pages. Without objection, floor privileges will be granted. Floor privileges are granted. We'll begin with Jalen, who's a senior at Bard, and will be attending the University of Maryland College Park next year. Jalen, take it away.
Is she doing it there or up here?
Down there.
It's good? Okay, great. Hello, my name is Jalen Robinson. I go to Bard High School, early college.
Loud.
Can't hear.
Ooh.
Speak up.
Okay.
Speak out.
Okay, great. Oh, hello. Okay. I was told not to pick it up, but I just do what I'm told. Okay. Hello, my name is Jalen Robinson. I go to Bard High School, early college. I will be attending UMD for political science. I live in the 9th District. For the past 5 months, I have served as a Baltimore City Council page. But longer than that, I have lived and resided in Baltimore City, and I have borne witness to a great ailment in the city. Childhood food insecurity, affecting nearly 1 in 3 children in Baltimore, is a pressing issue caused by economic hardship, systematic inequalities, and food deserts. Everyone in this room knows or has suffered from a lack of food. And that is precisely the reason that I chose this issue. This problem impacts children's physical and mental health, academic performances, and perpetuates cycles of poverty. This issue, like so many, disproportionately affects African Americans and other protected minorities. In the midst of this uncertain and turbulent federal administration, this issue is dire. I urge the Baltimore City Council to take action by expanding food assistance programs, increasing funding for school meals, supporting local food banks, and improving access to fresh, affordable food. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jalen. Next, we have Anelka, who is a senior at Baltimore Polytechnic Institute and will be attending the Great Morgan State University next year.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Anelka Ellis. I'm currently a senior at the Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. And for fall, I'll be taking my mini talents to Morgan State University, majoring in political science. I currently live in District 7, which is represented by Councilman James Torrance. For my advocacy project, I focused on the prevalence of drug use in North Avenue, Baltimore. I chose this topic because it's not just a problem I've read about, it's something I've witnessed in my own neighborhood. The effects of drugs are deeply felt, and not just by those struggling with the addiction, but by entire families and the larger community. The most impactful thing I've learned is that change doesn't always start big in dramatic ways. It starts by everyday people like me raising their voices. I'd like to recognize and thank Councilman Mark Conway, Chair of the Public Safety Committee, and his leadership and commitments to creating a safer, healthier community in Baltimore. My time as a page has been greatly appreciated, not only the long meetings, but being able to be a part of something bigger than just myself and witnessing change firsthand. I appreciate all the help from Shamoya, Ethan, and the welcoming smile from Alana every 2 weeks. Regardless of how hurt I may be today, I enjoyed my time here. Thank you.
Thank you to Anelka and Jalen. On behalf of the entire City Council, I'd like to recognize you both with ceremonial resolutions. Thank you, sir. The City Council of Baltimore be it hereby known to all that the City Council offers its sincerest congratulations to Anelka Ellis and Jalen in recognition of their commitment to public service and support for the Baltimore City Council as a page in the 74th term. The entire membership extends best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution be presented on this 12th day of May 2025. Signed myself, Council President, and the entire body. Congratulations. Good job. Good luck. Good luck. All right. I'd like to now recognize Councilmember Schleifer for a special announcement. No? Got it. All right. We will now proceed with the adoption of the journals.
Mr. President, the journal for the April 28th, 2025 regular meeting proceedings are in members' inboxes.
Without objection, the journal will be adopted. Hearing none, the journal is adopted. Bills signed by the mayor can be found in the meeting agenda. Seeing as there are no executive nominations tonight, we will now move on to bills being introduced. Madam Clerk.
City Council Bill 25-0060, Ordinance of Estimates for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, for the purpose of providing the appropriations estimated to be needed by each agency of the City of Baltimore for operating programs and capital projects during the fiscal 2026 year. Lead sponsor, City Council President, on behalf of the administration.
This bill has been assigned to the Budget and Appropriations Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0061, Annual Property Tax, Fiscal Year 2026, for the purpose of providing a tax for the use of the mayor and City Council of Baltimore for the period of July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026, and setting the semi-annual payment service charge for that period. Lead sponsor, City Council President, on behalf of the administration.
This bill has been assigned to the Budget and Appropriations Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0062, Building Code, Single Exit from Residential Occupancy, for the purpose of permitting certain residential buildings to have a single exit or access to a single exit, so long as certain conditions are met regarding the construction of the exit. Lead sponsor, Dorsey. Co-sponsors, Conway, Gray, Bullock, Blanchard, Ramos, Cohen.
Chair recognizes Councilman Dorsey.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you've seen any building in any American city in the last 20, 30 years that's 4 or 5 stories tall, it looks like every building you've seen in every American city that's 4 or 5 stories tall. It's because they're all subject to the same rule that was created in the early 20th century that makes it really basically financially impossible to build anything different than all of the buildings that you know I'm talking about. It makes it basically impossible to build above 3 stories on a modest size footprint. You basically can't go above 3 stories without having the capacity to buy and build on a half of a city block or more. And this is a uniquely North American convention that is very outdated and that is across the country experiencing a movement to change so that we can allow for more financially feasible, more city-like infill development that will allow us to expand our housing opportunity in a greater variety of ways and create more diverse housing opportunities in a wider range of spaces and neighborhoods and situations. I appreciate everybody who has signed on as a co-sponsor for this bill, and you can still do that right now. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Dorsey. This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0063, Zoning Administrator, transferred to Department of Planning, for the purpose of transferring the Office of the Zoning Administrator and all attendant authorities and duties from the Department of Housing and Community Development to the Department of Planning. Lead sponsor, Middleton. Co-sponsors, Dorsey, Conway, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Blanchard, Ramos, Cohen.
Chair recognizes Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. President. This transition has been way overdue, way before my involvement with Transform Baltimore, which was a change of 40 years. It hasn't been changed in 40 years when we were working on that transition. And it's beneficial to Baltimore because it streamlines the decision-making process and aligns zoning regulations closely with urban development goals. The city can ensure a more cohesive approach to land use, strategic growth, cooperating with our legacy homeowners and building community trust of government, which is definitely needed. This move also facilitates better coordination between zoning and planning initiatives, ultimately leading to more efficient use of resources and improving community outcomes. Additionally, having zoning experts work alongside planners can foster innovative solutions to housing shortages and contribute to more sustainable and inclusive urban environments. This transition also encourages greater transparency and public engagement as residents can easily participate in the planning process and have their voices heard in shaping the future of their neighborhoods.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. This bill has been assigned to the Housing and Economic Development Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0064, zoning bulk and yard requirements amendments for the purpose of amending certain bulk and yard requirements in residential zoning districts. Lead sponsor, Gray. Co-sponsors, Dorsey, Middleton, Torrance, Blanchard, Ramos, Cohen.
Chair recognizes Councilman Gray. And if we could note Councilmember Bullock as co-sponsor.
Thank you. I'll keep this short. This bill is about giving Baltimore homeowners, especially our historic Black middle class neighborhoods, the autonomy they deserve over their own property. By modernizing outdated zone rules, we're making it easy for families to build, improve, and adapt their homes to meet changing needs without unacceptable and unnecessary red tape. These changes protect legacy residents while also creating opportunities for intergenerational living, affordability, and smarter growth that works for everyday people and not just developers. I urge you all for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0065, zoning, eliminating off-street parking requirements for the purpose of repealing requirements for providing a minimum number of off-street parking spaces per use type, setting certain parking maximums and correcting, clarifying, and conforming related provisions and tables. Lead sponsor, Blanchard. Co-sponsors, Dorsey, Gray, Cohen.
Councilmember Blanchard, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. So a couple months ago, I had the chance to ask a couple realtors how much an off-street parking space is in a row home neighborhood, and they all estimated between $20,000 and $25,000. What that means is that if you are requiring that parking space to be added to a new home, you are requiring the new home to cost $25,000 more. If we want to make home ownership more attainable and rent more affordable, we need to make sure that prospective owners or renters have the option to pay more for off-street parking. This is particularly unfair in Baltimore if they don't, because in Baltimore, more than half of our homeowners have no car or only one, and almost half of our rental households have no car at all. If you don't need or want to pay more for off-street parking, the city should not be requiring you to do so. Eliminating 1950s parking mandates is a common sense solution for a city, and that's why regular cities from Birmingham to Buffalo have recently eliminated their mandates. I would guess that all of us on the council can agree that we need to be very serious about making homeownership more attainable and rent more affordable, reducing homelessness, growing our population, lowering property taxes, and creating more options for seniors to age in place and young families to grow. Eliminating parking mandates is an important piece of the puzzle in every one of those goals. Of note, we already have plenty of exemptions to parking mandates. Our neighborhood commercial areas, all of downtown, large apartment buildings, new row home developments, with the passage of 25006, homes with 3 units or less, all of these are exempt from parking mandates already. So the legislation I'm proposing today simply extends that principle to all new buildings. And of course, this legislation makes no change for anyone who wants to build off-street parking. And plenty of new buildings will still provide off-street parking. That's great. We are simply creating the option to build less off-street parking and create more housing opportunities. I urge all of my colleagues to support this bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Blanchard. This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0066, zoning, housing options and opportunity, for the purpose of amending certain provisions of the Baltimore City Zoning Code to promote increased development of low-density multifamily dwellings in certain residential districts, striking residential conversion standards for single-family dwellings into multifamily dwellings, amending certain permitted and conditional uses, amending certain bulk and yard standards, and defining certain terms. Lead sponsor, City Council President on behalf of the administration. Co-sponsors, Dorsey, Gray, Blanchard.
This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee. Before going on, Madam Clerk, I do just want to thank Councilman Dorsey for his work on these bills. I want to thank all the council members that are co-sponsoring them. I want to thank the administration for being a partner as well. look, at the end of the day, this is about being able to grow our city in a way that's responsible, that does not displace anybody, that moves in the direction that many cities are moving. We know that we need to grow. We've seen some very modest growth this last year, but I think Baltimore stands a unique opportunity to be the unicorn city that both grows its population, booms, but does not displace a whole lot of folks that were here through thick and thin. So again, appreciate everyone's work on this, and I will say that we are looking forward to a robust conversation in community, in committee, in this hall. We know that folks are gonna have a lot of questions, and I appreciate the administration for their willingness to do a listening tour around the city to engage, just as Vice President Middleton asked them to do. Appreciate everyone's participation in this process. With that, Madam Clerk, please call the next bill.
City Council Bill 25-0067, Acting City Official Residency Requirement. For the purpose of requiring a city employee serving as an acting official to be a city resident under certain circumstances and defining a certain term. Lead sponsor, Schleifer.
Chair recognizes Councilman Schleifer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last term, we passed a bill. Was it last term or 2 terms ago? Two ago? Time flies when you're having fun. So we passed a bill that requires certain officials in different agencies, directors of agencies, as well as those who report to directors of agencies, so really the highest level city employees, to live in the city, both to boost city residency, but as well to show that commitment towards the city for these very high-paid city employees. That passed, I believe, unanimously on the council. However, that has not been enforced or really fully implemented. And so what's been happening is people have been left in acting capacities for many years. And what that has done when speaking to agencies and employees across the city leads to a lot of instability across those agencies. They don't know if their boss is going to remain their boss. If their boss is not living in the city, they assume that they won't continue to be their boss, and therefore leads to a lot of issues across those agencies and those departments that have people in those capacities. And so while, I have my own feelings about residency requirements, if we are going to have this law in place, there should be a timeline, there should be an enforcement mechanism. And so what this bill does is it requires people to, it only allows people to act in an acting capacity for a period of 12 months. And so within 12 months, you should be able to find somebody for those pieces, as well as if you do make an offer, if the administration makes an offer to those employees, they have the ability to sign a declaration that they plan to move into the city, which gives them 6 months to do so. So somebody can serve in an acting capacity for one of these positions for up to 18 months prior to needing to move into the city. And if they don't, then they go back to the position that they were in before and can no longer remain in an acting capacity forever. And so the idea here is that if we're going to have this law, and if we agree that we should still continue to have this law, then there has to be some enforcement and a timeline on it. And so I welcome anybody who would like to see the leadership in city agencies living in the city and following city code to co-sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Schleifer. This bill has been assigned to the Committee on Legislative Investigations. Councilman Dorsey.
Sign me up.
Please note Councilmember Dorsey as co-sponsor. Duly noted.
City Council Bill.
Hang on.
Okay.
Councilmember Jones is co-sponsor as well. Councilmember Conway. Councilmember Glover. Anybody else? Not yet. going to your committee, but you got to earn my support, Councilman. This bill has been assigned to the Committee on Legislative Investigations.
City Council Bill 25-0068, Study and Report Disparity Study, Returning Citizen-Owned and Employing Businesses, for the purpose of requiring the Department of Finance to conduct a disparity study to determine whether a disparity exists between the number of available businesses that are owned by returning citizens and whose employees are comprised of 50% or more returning citizens, providing goods or services in specified business categories, and the number who are contracting with the city as a prime contractor or subcontractor. Lead sponsor, Torrance. Co-sponsors, Conway, Middleton, Gray, Bullock, Blanchard, Ramos, Cohen.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Torrance.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise because this is a simple bill. It is for us to do a study to see if returning citizen-owned businesses or businesses that employ 50% or more of their employees as returning citizens can get access to city contracts. When people are being released from prison, they have two options. Either you find a job or make your own way. If they made their own way and they're hiring others and lifting them up as well, I think we as a city should be able to give them an opportunity to lift them up as well as too. This is comprehensive because, as you know, my district inherently gets the most returning citizens in the 7th Council District. The persons that are hired by most of the companies that do direct hire live in my district, pay taxes in my district, are Baltimore City residents. This is an opportunity not only to support a business that hires our residents, but also is empowering that business to do more. I say that because I think of a returning citizen-owned business that is doing the landscaping work that we're doing at Pennsylvania North Avenue in terms of creating a pocket park. That business is owned by a returning citizen, and he employs returning citizens. But he cannot get access to all of the actual grants as well as the contracts that we have for mowing contracts. There are 6 city agencies that cut grass, that issue contracts. I can say that because I drove by last Wednesday, Druid Hill Park, and the person's cutting the grass had New Jersey plates. Imagine if we were able to hire our own residents and we had Maryland parades that allow our residents to come here, get to work, and be participants in our government, but also we stand it up as well. So with that being said, Mr. President, I look forward to the conversations with my colleagues, and I look forward to furthering knocking down the barriers that stand in the way of progress.
Thank you, Councilman Torrance. Please note Councilmember Schleifer, Parker, Glover, and Porter as co-sponsors as well. This bill has been assigned to the Housing and Economic Development Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0069, Sale of Property, 1820 North Charles Street, for the purpose of authorizing the mayor and City Council of Baltimore to sell, either at public or private sale, all its interest in certain property that is located at 1820 North Charles Street, Block 0388, Lot 009, and is no longer needed for public use, and providing for a special effective date. Lead sponsor, City Council President, on behalf of the administration, co-sponsor Torrance.
This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0070, Sale of Property, 242 South Patterson Park Avenue, for the purpose of authorizing the mayor and City Council of Baltimore to sell, either at public or private sale, all its interest in certain property that is located at 242 South Patterson Park Avenue, Block 1758, Lot 020, and is no longer needed for public use, and providing for a special effective date. Lead sponsor, City Council President, on behalf of the administration, co-sponsor Parker.
Councilman Parker, you want to share some words?
Thank you, Mr. President. I feel like oftentimes these bills come before us and we're just running through them. I just want to lift up in this case how much I appreciate the work that's done in this space. This space has housed for many years a Head Start program run by St. Vincent de Paul here in the area. It's one of 2 Head Starts in Southeast Baltimore. Does an awesome job providing high quality, affordable, federally supported, for the moment, early childhood education to a really diverse range of families in an opportunity community directly across the street from Patterson Park. That program also runs a fantastic summer camp program for, I think, nearly 100 years, serving children who are experiencing homelessness. And so really grateful that the city has found a way to continue and support that program and allow this work to continue into the future.
Thank you so much, Councilman Parker. This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0071, zoning, conditional use conversion of single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district. Variances, 15 East West Street. For the purpose of permitting, subject to certain conditions, the conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district on the property known as 15 East West Street, Block 0965, Lot 046, as outlined in red on the accompanying plat. Granting a variance regarding certain bulk regulations, lot size, area, and providing for a special effective date. Lead sponsor, Blanchard.
This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0072, zoning, conditional use conversion of single-family dwelling units to 2 dwelling units each in the R8 zoning district, 1703 and 1709 Edmondson Avenue. For the purpose of permitting, subject to certain conditions, the conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district on the property known as 1703 Edmondson Avenue, Block 0121, Lot 017, and a single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district on the property known as 1709 Edmondson Avenue, Block 0121, Lot 020, as outlined in red on the accompanying plat. Granting variances regarding off-street parking requirements and providing for a special effective date. Lead sponsor, Bullock.
This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0073, zoning, conditional use conversion to banquet hall in the IMU 1 zoning district, variances 1100 Wycomico Street. For the purpose of permitting, subject to certain conditions, the establishment, maintenance, and operation of the banquet hall on the property known as 1100 Wycomico Street, Block 0811, Lot 060, as outlined in red on the accompanying plat, granting variances regarding off-street parking requirements and providing for a special effective date. Lead sponsor, Porter.
This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0074, repeal of ordinance 06-222, planned unit development, 1100 Wycomico Street, for the purpose of repealing ordinance 06-222, which designated certain property located at 1100 Wycomico Street as an industrial planned unit development and providing for a special effective date. Lead sponsor, Porter.
This bill has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee. Before moving on to resolutions, I do want to recognize my friend and one of our great colleagues representing the 45th District in Annapolis, Delegate Jackie Addison is in the house. Appreciate you joining us. We will now move on to resolutions of the City Council. Madam Clerk.
City Council Resolution 25-0025R, recognizing May as Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. For the purpose of recognizing May as Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander AANHPI Heritage Month in Baltimore City and celebrating the significant contributions of AHNHPI communities to the cities and the United States' history, economy, arts, and culture. Lead sponsor, Parker. Co-sponsors, Conway, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Blanchard, Jones, Ramos, Cohen.
Please note Councilman Schleifer as co-sponsor, as well as Councilmember Porter as co-sponsor. Councilman Parker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I bring this resolution before the City Council today, before my colleagues, to recognize the month of May as Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Month here in Baltimore City. This resolution recognizes the contributions of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities to both the history and the culture of our city, to the vibrancy of our city's diverse neighborhoods today. I hope this resolution is not just a one-time celebration, but a commitment to understanding and responding to the needs of the diverse Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities in our city. I'd also like to recognize today the work of the members of the Asian American Pacific Islander Advocacy Group, which is currently housed in the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. These members have been working diligently to plan and promote Heritage Month activities across the city throughout this month, including the Asia North exhibits along North Avenue and Charles Street, and highlighting local businesses across all of our districts, which are owned by AAPI persons, especially many of our restaurants. On May 27th, the advisory group will host a panel conversation with 3 Asian American Pacific Islander women who are pioneers, exploring how they've challenged the status quo, taken bold risks, and redefined power and success on their own terms, That'll be at the Everyman Theater the day after Memorial Day at 6 p.m. Mr. President, I'd like to move to suspend the rules for immediate adoption.
Without objection, the rules will be suspended. The rules are suspended.
Mr. President, I'd like to move the resolution for adoption.
The clerk will call the roll.
Parker.
Yes.
McCray. Dorsey. Conway. Schleifer. Middleton. Torrance. Gray. Bullock. Porter. Blanchard. Jones. Glover. Ramos. Cohen.
Aye. The motion is approved. This resolution has been adopted.
City Council Resolution 25-0026R, recognizing June as Men's Health Month. For the purpose of recognizing June as Men's Health Month in Baltimore City, expressing the City Council's support for reestablishing the Baltimore City Health Department Men's Health Center, and emphasizing the importance of using city resources for targeted services to support men's health and longevity, including in areas around mental health, preventative care, fatherhood, domestic violence, sexual abuse, and suicide. Lead sponsor, Porter. Co-sponsors, Parker, Conway, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Blanchard, Jones, Ramos, Cohen.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Porter.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I stand on behalf of in support of every man in Baltimore City to recognize June as Men's Health Month. In the spirit of my health and wellness hearings on child, mother, we could not miss the father. This is an opportunity for us in the city to coordinate resources to uplift the conditions, the health conditions, and the living conditions and issues faced by men in our city. The average life expectancy in Baltimore City for a Black male is 76.6 years, which is lower than the state average of 79.6 years and the national average of 78.7 years. We have seen Black males exhibit chronic health conditions such as alcohol and drug addiction, diabetes and high blood sugar, heart disease and high blood pressure, and last but not least, mental health disorders. This is an opportunity for our city to prioritize the health and wellness of men within our city during the month of June and for the remainder of my term. As we go through June, this is an opportunity for us to not only prioritize these issues, but also to call upon assets and stakeholders within our city to prioritize men's health as well. Mr. President, I'd like to suspend the appropriate rules for immediate adoption.
Without objection, the rules will be suspended. The rules are suspended.
Mr. President, I would like to move the resolution forward for immediate adoption.
The clerk will call the roll.
Parker. Yes. McCray. Dorsey. Conway. Schleifer. Middleton. Torrance. Gray. Bullock. Porter. Blanchard. Jones. Glover. Ramos. Cohen.
Aye. The motion is approved. This resolution has been adopted.
City Council Resolution 25-0027R, informational hearing, home repair assistance for older adults. For the purpose of inviting the Baltimore City Department of Housing and Community Development, the Mayor's Office of Children and Family Success, and the Mayor's Office of Older Adults Affairs and Advocacy, and relevant stakeholders to provide an update to the City Council on the status of home repair assistance programs for older adults in the city. Lead sponsor, Ramos. Co-sponsors, Parker, Conway, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Blanchard, Jones, Cohen.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Porter. I'm sorry, Councilmember Ramos.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. Baltimore has significant numbers of older adults aging in place. It is extremely important that they are able to age in place with dignity. While some residents move to facilities as they age, the majority of our older adults cannot afford to do that and we must ensure that they can age without the roof falling, the heat failing, or water pipes breaking. Programs like housing upgrades to benefit seniors, hubs, and the LIGHT program assist residents who are aging in place and cannot afford major home repairs. These and other programs have been operating for several years and have helped hundreds of residents in our communities. These programs have proven over time that assisting older adults with home repairs helps ensure that older adults have better health and mental health outcomes as they age. Moreover, we're seeing that the next generation will move back to grandmom's house after she passes, which builds a generational wealth over time and is a vacant property prevention strategy. However, we are seeing backlogs in service for older adults, complex applications for programs, and delays in permits for repairs and increasing needs. This resolution calls for a hearing to understand the current needs of our older adults aging in place, the work of the Hubs and Light programs or any programs that are related to it, funding for these and related programs, and improvements to these programs to serve more residents, including the number and types of home repair projects conducted since the beginning of these programs, which is around 2015, funding allocation from ARPA and other city sources, both operating and capital, backlog of cases, including wait times, timing of program flow from intake to completion, and where that timeline should be, obstacles for assisting homeowners, and any other questions by my colleagues. I look forward to working with my colleagues on exploring how these programs are working and how we can help them serve our residents the most in need. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Ramos. This resolution has been assigned to the Education, Youth, and Older Adults Committee. The consent calendar was sent to members' inboxes in the desk documents folder. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar? All those in favor of approving the consent calendar say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The motion carries and the consent calendar is approved. We now move to bills on second reader. Chair recognizes Councilman Dorsey.
Mr. President, I move we read short titles for the remainder of the meeting.
Without objection, we will proceed with reading short titles. We begin with bills from the Budget and Appropriations Committee on second reader. Madam Clerk.
City Council Bill 25-0045, Supplementary State Fund Operating Appropriation, Department of Recreation and Parks, Service 654, Urban Forestry, $90,000.
Chair recognizes Chair McCray.
A hearing was held on May the 6th. An amendment was emailed to council members. It's within your desk documents. The amendment is technical in nature. It strikes the word state funding and substitutes that with a grant in its place. I move the amendment.
Before we vote, before we move the amendment, is there any debate or discussion on the committee amendment? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor of adopting the amendment say aye. Those opposed say nay. The motion passes and the amendment is adopted.
I move the bill favorable as amended.
Is there any debate on the amended bill? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor of approving this bill, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. This bill will be printed for third reading. Issue.
I would also like to invoke Rule 12-1 to advance this bill from second to third reader on the same day.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Parker?
Yes.
McCray?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Conway?
Aye.
Schleifer?
Aye.
Middleton?
Aye.
Torrance? Gray?
Aye.
Bullock?
Aye.
Porter?
Aye.
Blanchard?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Glover?
Yes.
Ramos? Yes. Cohen?
Aye. This bill moves to third reader today.
City Council Bill 25-0046, Supplementary State Fund Operating Appropriation, Health Department, Service 723, Advocacy for Seniors, $90,236.
President recognizes Chair McCray.
Thank you. A hearing was held on May the 6th. An amendment was emailed to council members within your desk documents. The amendment is technical in nature. It strikes the word state funding and substitutes a grant in its place.
Before we vote, before moving the amendment, before we vote, is there any debate or discussion on the committee amendment? Please move the amendment, Madam Chair.
I move the amendment.
All those in favor of adopting the amendment say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The motion passes and the amendment is adopted.
I move the bill favorable as amended.
Is there any debate or discussion on the amended bill? All those in favor of approving this bill, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. This bill will be printed for third reading today.
And I would like to Council President, I would like to invoke Rule 12-1 to advance this bill from second to third reader on the same day.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Parker.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Dorsey. Conway. Schleifer. Middleton. Torrance. Gray. Bullock. Porter. Blanchard. Jones. Glover. Ramos. Cohen.
Aye. This bill moves to third reader today.
City Council Bill 25-0047, Supplementary Federal Fund Operating Appropriation, M through R, Office of Employment Development, Service 795, Workforce Services for Baltimore Residents, $206,822.
Chair recognizes Chair McCray. Hang on one second, Madam Chair. Go for it.
A hearing was held on May the 6th. There is an amendment that was emailed to council members within the desk documents. The amendment is technical in nature. It strikes the words federal funding and substitutes a grant in its place. I move the amendment.
Before moving the amendment, is there any debate or discussion on the amended bill? Hearing none. All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The amendment passes.
I move the bill favorable as amended.
Is there any debate or discussion on the amended bill? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. This bill will be printed for third reading.
And I would like to invoke Rule 12-1 Rule 10-4 to advance this bill from second to third reader on the same day.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Parker.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Dorsey. Conway. Schleifer. Middleton. Torrance. Gray. Bullock. Porter. Blanchard. Jones. Glover. Ramos. Cohen.
Aye. This bill moves to third reader today.
City Council Bill 25-0048, Supplementary Federal Fund Operating Appropriation, M through R, Office of Employment Development. I think this might be a misprint.
Chair recognizes Council Member McCray. Is this 47 or 48?
It is 48. Service 795, Workforce Services for Baltimore Residents, $1,375,655. Thank you.
Got it. Chair recognizes Council Member McCray.
Thank you, Mr. President. A hearing was held on May the 6th. There is an amendment that was emailed to council members. It's within your desk documents. The amendment is technical in nature. It strikes the words federal funding and substitutes a grant in its place. I move the amendment.
Is there any debate or discussion on this amendment? Hearing and seeing none, the amendment is moved. All those in favor of this amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. This amendment is adopted.
I move the bill favorable as amended.
Is there any debate or discussion on the amended bill? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the amended bill, please say aye. Let's try that again. All those in favor of adopting the amended bill, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. Those opposed, please say nay. This bill is adopted.
And I would like to invoke Rule 10-4 to advance this bill from second to third reader on the same day.
Debate, discussion, hearing and seeing none. All those in favor of...
I call the roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. Clerk, please call the roll.
Parker.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Dorsey. Conway. Schleifer. Middleton. Torrance. Gray. Bullock. Porter. Blanchard. Jones. Glover. Ramos. Cohen.
Yes, this bill moves to third reader today. We now move to bills from the Housing and Economic Development Committee on Second reader, Madam Clerk.
City Council Bill 25-0003, Historic Preservation Conservation Districts Establishment.
Chair recognizes Councilman Chair Torrance.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill was heard on April 29, 2025. It was recommended as favorable with amendments. There is committee amendments on my colleague's desk. The amendment delays the enactment for 1 year after it has been signed by the mayor to allow the administration work on the office as well as complete the tax credit study for this actual tax credit. Questions on the amendments can be deferred to Councilman Bullock, the sponsor, after the hard work of getting this through. Mr. President, I move the amendment favorable.
Any discussion or debate on this amendment? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of approving this amendment, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The amendment is passed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
Any debate or discussion on this amended bill? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Those opposed say nay. Please note Councilmember Schleifer as a nay. This bill will be printed for third reading.
City Council Bill 25-0038, City Property, naming the playground located at Senator Troy Braley Easterwood Park to be the Margaret L. Powell Playground.
Chair recognizes Chairman Torrance.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill was heard on April 29, 2025. It was recommended as favorable, and as a moment of personal privilege, I would like to thank the community as well as those who came out and spoke on behalf of Ms. Margaret Powell, matriarch of the community and one who was selfless, and it is a huge honor for the city to do this, Mr. President. With that being said, I recommend this bill be voted favorably.
Any debate or discussion on this bill? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. This bill will be printed for third reading. We now move to bills from the Public Safety Committee.
Mr. President, if I may take a quick second, I know that a few people have to leave, but I just want to recognize them really shortly.
Recognize the way.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today was Delta Day at City Hall, and I just want to recognize the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta from both Baltimore Alumni and both Baltimore Alumni Metro chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. They may rise as they've been here today. Today, their advocacy committee hosted a conversation around community schools and the support they have. The Deltas of Baltimore have been leading in social change in this area, along with all the Divine Nine as well. Yes. Listen, I am a member of a Divine Nine organization, a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, so I will give deference to that. This is how we do the work, but also the devotion to be here present, to advocate here at City Hall, but also the day that we do, as many of us will say, while the organizations have stand for us so long, we are not only just merely members, we are lights that go before it for our organizations, and I thank you for being the light of Delta Sigma Theta in Baltimore City. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Torrance, and thank you and happy Delta Day. We appreciate your presence today and always at City Hall, and thanks for the advocacy you're doing on behalf of community schools. It means a lot. We now move to bills from the Public Safety Committee.
City Council Bill 25-0005, Arson Offender Registration Requirement.
Chair recognizes Chair Conway.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill was heard on April 29th, and it was recommended as favorable. I move the bill favorable.
Any debate or discussion on this bill? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. This bill will be printed for third reading. We now move to the bills on third reader. Madam Clerk, please read the bills and call the roll.
City Council Bill 25-0013, Equitable Access to Health Services in City Schools. Parker, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Porter, Blanchard, Jones, Glover, Ramos, Cohen.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 25-0021, rezoning 3221 Frederick Avenue, Parker, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Porter, Blanchard, Jones, Glover, Ramos, Cohen.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 25-0022, zoning.
Is there some unreadiness, Councilman Dorsey?
250022.
Yes, sir.
There
Chair
was-
recognizes Councilman Dorsey.
Thank you, Mr. President. There was a minor error in the findings of fact that were voted on in the, at second reader. So we have just a minor correction to the findings of fact. And I'd just like to move the corrected findings. Tony, what was the error in it? Oh, it had a wrong bill number in it. The findings of facts as submitted referenced the wrong bill number. That needed to be corrected for the legal record.
Understood.
So I move the corrected finding of facts, Mr. President.
So moved. Was that without objection? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
So, City Council Bill
Councilman
25.
Dorsey?
We do a voice vote on the findings of facts, and then we move the bill.
I think I have to read the title of the bill in first for the record. City Council Bill 25-0022, zoning R8 zoning district conditional use, maximum building height variance is 1121 Bayard Street.
Councilman Dorsey?
Findings of facts, Mr. President.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The finding of facts are adopted.
Great. Parker, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Porter, Blanchard, Jones, Glover, Ramos, Cohen.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 25-0023, rezoning 3200 Lily Avenue. Parker, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Porter, Blanchard, Jones, Glover, Ramos, Cohen.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 25-0035, rezoning gas-powered debris removal equipment, prohibition enforcement. Parker, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Porter, Blanchard, Jones, Glover, Ramos, Cohen.
Please note Councilman Schleifer as a no. This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 25-0045, supplementary state fund operating appropriation, Department of Recreation and Parks, Service 654, Urban Forestry, $90,000. Parker, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Porter, Blanchard, Jones, Glover, Ramos, Cohen.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 25-0046, supplementary state fund operating appropriation, Health Department, Service 723, Advocacy for Seniors, $90,236. Parker, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Porter, Blanchard, Jones, Glover, Ramos, Cohen.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 25-0047, supplementary federal fund operating appropriation, M through R, Office of Employment Development, Service 795, Workforce Services for Baltimore residents, $206,822. Parker, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Porter, Blanchard, Jones, Glover, Ramos, Cohen.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 25-0048, supplementary federal fund operating appropriation, M through R, Office of Employment Development, Service 795, Workforce Services for Baltimore residents, $1,375,655. Parker, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Gray, Bullock, Porter, Blanchard, Jones, Glover, Ramos, Cohen.
This bill is approved. And now, committee announcements. Chairs, first, I would like to announce that City Council Taxpayer Night is this Thursday, May 15th at 5 p.m. This time is for Baltimore residents to have the opportunity to voice their opinions and concerns about the proposed city budget. Residents can attend in person or virtually via WebEx, but only in-person testimony is accepted. Now, chairs, when you hear your committee, please proceed with your committee announcements. Budget and Appropriations, Chair McCray.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to suspend Rule 10-4 to announce a hearing 5 days within its announcement date.
Without objection, the rules will be suspended. The rules are suspended.
Thank you. The Budget and Appropriations Committee will hold a hearing on Thursday, May the 15th, 2025 for Council Bill 25-0060, Ordinance of Estimates for the year ending June 30th, 2026. The budget overview is going to be at 1:20 p.m. The budget overview for the operating budget for the Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners will be at 1:30 p.m. The fiscal year 2026 recommended capital improvement plan overview will be at 3 p.m. that day. And I would also like to suspend Rule 10.4 to announce another hearing.
Without objection, the rules will be suspended.
The Budget and Appropriations.
The rules are suspended.
Thank you. The Budget and Appropriations Committee will hold a hearing on Thursday, May the 15th, 2025 for Council Bill 25-0061, Annual Property Tax Fiscal Year 2026 at 5 p.m. Thank you for the intro. The hearing is also referred to as Taxpayers Night. And just as our Council President stated earlier, Taxpayers Night provides the residents of Baltimore City with the unique opportunity to share any comments and concerns about the city's budget. Also, just want to remind the public that the Baltimore City constant yield tax rate is the same as last fiscal year, therefore, per state law, was not required to be advertised. The hearing for Legislative Oversight LO 25-002, Brief and American Rescue Plan Act, that's ARPA, is rescheduled from May the 13th, 2025. It's going to now be held May the 15th, 2025, beginning at 12:59. All of these hearings will be held in council chambers. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Education, Youth, and Older Adults, Chairman Bullock. No announcements. Housing and Economic Development, Chairman Torrance. No announcements. Labor and Workforce, Chairman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Labor Workforce Committee will hold a hearing on Thursday, June 11th, 2025 for the following bills. Council Bill 25-0042, Retirement Savings Plan, clarifying amendments at 2 p.m. Council Bill 25-0043, Employees Retirement System Class C filing period, amendment at 2:01 p.m. And last but not least, Council Bill 25-0044, Employees Retirement System Board of Trustees, membership and qualifications at 2 p.m. These hearings will be held in the council chambers. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Dorsey.
The date? Yes, Thursday, June 11th. Is it? Oh, it'd be Thursday the 12th then. I believe, wait, Wednesday? Hold on. It's Wednesday the 11th. Yeah, that's it. Wednesday the 11th.
Thank you for the clarification, Councilman Dorsey. And you, sir, are up next, Land Use and Transportation.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to announce 9 hearings all at the same time, so I'm just going to announce 9 hearings all at the same time. On Thursday, June 26th at 9 a.m., the Land Use and Transportation Committee will hear, perhaps in an order yet to be determined, Council Bill 25-0020, zoning conditional use conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to 3 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district and variances at 2001 West Baltimore Street. Council Bill 25-0037, zoning conditional use conversion of single-family dwelling unit to 3 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district, variances 1727 McCullough Street. So the first bill sponsored Bullock, second bill sponsored Torrance. Third bill 25-0039, city streets closing a 16-foot alley and a portion of a 10-foot alley, sponsored by the administration. Fourth bill 25-0041, zoning conditional use conversion of single-family dwelling unit to 3 dwelling units in the R7 zoning district, variances 2628 Edmondson Avenue, sponsored Bullock. Fifth, 25-0049, release of access easement, vehicular access to U.S. Route 40 through 6709 Pulaski Highway, sponsor McCray. 250053, rezoning 4001 East Baltimore Street, sponsor Parker. 250054, zoning W2 Overlay District Amendment, sponsor Porter. 250055, zoning conditional use parking lot, principal use variances, 701 Mura Street, sponsor Jones. 250056, zoning conditional use parking lot, principal use variances, 702 Mura Street, also sponsor Jones. Again, Mr. President, members, these bills will all be heard on Thursday, June 26th at 9 a.m. The committee often convenes at 10 a.m., but given the number of bills to be heard, the committee will meet at its earliest available time, 9 a.m. Thursday, June 26th. Thank you, Mr. President.
Duly noted, and thank you, Chairman Dorsey. Legislative investigations, Chair Schleifer. No announcements. Public Health and the Environment, Chair Porter.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I would like to suspend Rule 10-4 to announce a hearing 5 days within its announcement date.
Without objection, the rules will be suspended. The rules are suspended.
Thank you. The Public Health and Environment Committee will hold a hearing on Wednesday, May 14th for Council Resolution 25-0016R, informational hearing, Black maternal health at 10 a.m. The committee will also hold a hearing on Wednesday, June 11th for the following bills. Council Resolution 25-0015R, informational hearing, well-being of the transgender community in Baltimore at 10 a.m. Council Resolution 25-0020R, informational hearing, well-being of gay men in Baltimore at 10:01 a.m. And then lastly, Council Resolution 25-0021, informational hearing, well-being of lesbian women in Baltimore at 10:02 a.m. These hearings will be held in the council chamber.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Public Safety Chair Conway. No hearings. We now move to regular announcements. Members, please wait to be recognized to make regular announcements. Tonight's district spotlight comes from Councilmember our brother Antonio Glover of the 13th District. Councilman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today I want to highlight some of the things that is going on in my district since we've got in office. I'm super excited about, Carlton Square. Before I got in office, there was a rec center that was closed for over 10 years. We came in, we worked really hard with Recs and Parks. They had no money, but we had programming available to make things happen in our community. We have utilized that community and that rec center for so many different reasons and so many workshops. So I just would like to share some things that we have with a video. And I want to also, before I get started, thank my production crew, Shay, Hannah, who's here as well. It's okay, you clap. And then my chief of staff, Justin, who has worked really hard to help make District 13 what I consider to be City Hall on call. So Ethan, hit that tune.
Information dealing with
Come on, Jose. Hold on a second, Jose. Hey, look, don't forget that this is Spotlight tonight. Everything's ready to rock and roll. We're gonna go home and change. We good?
Hey, we're on top of it, boss.
All right, man. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, peace.
Okay.
Hey, Jose, come back.
Oh my goodness. Sweetie, no, we just double check to give us tonight.
It can't be tonight. It can't be tonight. It can't be tonight.
Yeah, it's tonight.
Oh, 5, 4, 3,
2.
We are one. What's up, everyone? It's your favorite councilman, Antonio, our brother Glover. And you're standing right here with us in District 13, which is my home, where we break bread, break ground, and we break barriers. Let me show you around.
We start with the legendary Northeast Market, which has been around since 1885. It hosts over 30 vendors and showcases a diverse range of food, just like our district. We've got La Burrita and Butcher's Hill with our Argentinian eats. The Madison 801 is a decadent fine dining cafe located in Middle East. The James Beard award-winning Peter Chang serves sizzling Szechuan. Kabobi by Hellman's signature Afghan cuisine. Michael's Pizza Subs and Seafood provides fresh seafood and more in Berea. Water for Chocolate dishes out Caribbean comfort food. Xavier and Bel Air Edison brings Nigeria close to home. while newly opened Chopped on Broadway is Fells Point's first black woman-owned bodega. And you know we gotta bless our food, so let's drink in Ministry of Brewing's church-turned-tap room.
There's a lot to eat and drink in District 13, but we don't just break bread, we also break ground, just like here in Bojack Park.
The new rec facility will feature additions onto its existing field house on East Madison Street, a state-of-the-art recreation facility where our community has a safe place to play, learn, and grow.
And right up the street, my elementary school is finally getting an upgrade. Commodore John Rogers is set to be completed in December 2026 as a true 21st century school.
And every day, new businesses are planting roots right here in District 13. Proof that when we invest in our neighborhoods, the return is real.
We don't just build places, we build community. And we are proud of our first.
We believe that access and empowerment go hand in hand, which is why we hosted the first School Board Safety Forum, to give parents and students a real space to speak honestly about what they need. We offered the first free grant writing training, so residents can take their ideas and turn them into funded realities. We threw the first district-wide crab feast to bring folks together across neighborhoods. We hosted the first Community Association Presidents and Leaders Roundtable to bring together and lift up our neighbors who show up every day to make our neighborhoods better. And we hosted the first police accountability meeting to provide access to the men and women working hard in our neighborhoods.
Because at the end of the day, we work for you. Your stories, concerns, and ideas matters, no matter the age, culture, or zip code. And when we listen, we lead better. That's why events and activities like these are so important to us. This is District 13, where we break bread, break ground, we break barriers. Together! And we break down. Thank you. Thank you.
No, in fact, all y'all need to step it up at this point. Just set the bar very high. Thank you to Councilmember Glover. Thank you to his amazing staff. Really appreciate you always being extra and going above and beyond. That was great. Any other regular announcements? Madam Vice President.
Just quickly. At the last council meeting, I had mentioned that, in fact, this Saturday, that beautiful day, we finally did a ribbon cutting of the first apartment building for older adults right at the corner of Woodland and Park Heights Avenue. Dana Henson and the Henson Family Project partnered with NHP, and what a wonderful apartment building, amazing. But the key thing with this apartment building is that because it's so close to the proximity of Pimlico Race Course that's being renovated, the theme of this building was with black jockeys. And right in the outside before you go in the building is a sculpture of a man on a horse, huge sculpture, lots of color. And when you go inside, there's a wall of just all the black jockeys that have ran Pimlico throughout the years. So that's the theme throughout the whole building. There's a mural also behind the building with jockeys. It is the first it's the first parking lot that is solar, and there's some green firsts through this building. So I welcome everyone to come visit. They also gave the keys to the major of the Northwest Police Department. So we in Park Heights are going to be doing that with just about every building. And of course, right after that was the Spider Anderson fourth year with the festival. And oh my goodness, it was like 2 to 3 blocks. The street was closed. Of course, we had music and Food trucks were lined up, lots of vendors, and I'm still getting feedback. Because Safe Streets and We Are Us were, they started in Park Heights. They were also part of the security, and there were no disruptions, no complaints. It was a very smooth festival. We had, of course, the governor and the first lady, and also the mayor and the first lady practically spent the whole day along with some of our 41st district delegation. So with the weather and the good music vibes, we had a combination of MC Light, we had Caribbean music and also had Latino music. So just a wonderful day in building that culture that we have throughout the city. So I would have been remiss if I hadn't mentioned that.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Vice President, for your leadership for Park Heights, for your advocacy for older adults, and also for lifting up the importance of We Are Us and Safe Streets as well. Councilmember Dorsey.
I heard Artscape is happening downtown this year. It is, in fact. May 24th and 25th. It's going to be a banger. We got a great presentation at the luncheon today from Tanya Miller in the mayor's office. Look, I don't know, probably a lot of people out there skeptical about moving Artscape from where it's been forever to where it's going to be and putting it underneath of a highway. But look, the plans look really cool, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm really stoked to see this happen. And I'll be out there, hopefully it's not going to be hotscape like it usually is, but we got some shade at least, and there's some good indoor stuff. The Scout Fair over in the War Memorial Building, the main stage right out here in front of City Hall. It'd be kind of cool to have City Hall as the backdrop to the main stage. Just a lot of cool stuff going on. We heard about 44 new murals going up on pillars underneath and around the JFX there. I know I went out there a couple weeks ago and I saw Katie and Jesse, I saw Gaia, I saw Pablo Macchioli, I saw Megan Lewis out there. It's like the city paid out money to every serious muralist in the city to do new artwork out there to make this a really fresh environment. And these muralists are really serious business. So, it's worth showing up just to see the work that's already been done to make it the space that it's going to be. So y'all heard it's downtown this year.
Thank you, Councilman Dorsey. Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. So as you are thinking about Artscape, I would also like you to think about the Oswego Art and Music Festival. And some of you may know that it has been held on the same weekend, Memorial Day weekend, for the last 40 years. And so now we have Artscape on the same weekend, and thankfully the mayor's team is kind enough to make sure that that Oswego Fest would also be recognized and have its ability to run in its continuous fashion this year. If you're wondering, it is in the Hollins Market neighborhood. You will see everything from local vendors, artists, some great food, some musical performances. So please feel free to join us in the 9th District in Southwest Baltimore, Oswego Art and Musical Festival. Take care.
Awesome. Great festival. Councilman Torrance. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get you next. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to give the great news that we are expecting new residents in the 7th District. Not me. No. At the end of this month, we will break ground on a new red panda exhibit at the zoo. We never had a red pandas in Baltimore City. We're now welcoming a species of red panda to Baltimore City. There are new residents coming to our zoo. Also to our neighbors surrounding Druid Hill Park, news will be coming that we will be able to walk around the reservoir by the end of the month. So just some good news, and if you will, please come to the zoo and see our new red pandas.
Love it. Almost as exciting as you having another child, but not quite. But Councilman says no. Councilman Conway.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to, on the note of I'm not expecting, but yesterday was Mother's Day, and I want to take a special moment to acknowledge the women who have dedicated their lives to raising children and continue to raise adults and so on and so forth. We got 2 members on the council. I just want to thank you guys. And to all the women that have made that commitment, we know how incredibly hard it can be, and we are deeply, deeply appreciative of all the commitment that you put into your children. So just wanted to do that. Thank you.
Well done, sir. Any other regular announcements? All right. The next regular meeting of the Baltimore City Council will be held on Monday, June 9th at 5 p.m. Additionally, there will be a special meeting of the council this Thursday at 12:45 for the purpose of reading in the city schools fiscal year 2026 budget. There being no further business, this concludes the 10th regular meeting of the 74th term of the Baltimore City Council.